The war in Yemen. Will talks in Geneva make any progress towards peace? Hello, I'm Nathan King, filling in for Anna Naidu, and this is The Heat. Hello again. After more than 3 years of a devastating war in Yemen, there is a new effort towards finding a peaceful solution. A UN mediator hopes that the warring sides will engage during talks in Geneva this week. But what do both sides want, and what will it take to end the conflict? We begin with this report from CGTN's Natalie, Carney, who is covering the story in Geneva.
Talks were scheduled to begin here in Geneva on Thursday, but were postponed due to the lack of any representation from the Houthi rebels. Previously, the Houthis, who are backed by Iran and Lebanon's Hezbollah, had condemned the talks, saying they would not produce any results. While the UN envoy to Yemen, Martin Griffiths, has met with representatives from the Hadi government, who are supported and backed by a Saudi-led military coalition, he said, though, further consultations could not take place until the arrival of the Houthi delegation. At a press conference here at the UN earlier this week, Martin Griffiths said that the first stage of these talks were to work on confidence building between the warring sides and would focus on how future peace negotiations would work. Substance would be later. The mistrust on both sides runs deep. These talks are the most serious efforts made in the last 2 years to bring an end to Yemen's 3-year conflict, which has killed more than 10,000 people and brought about the world's worst humanitarian crisis, according to the United Nations. Meanwhile, the United Nations Security Council has repeated its call for the implementation of Resolution 2216, which calls on the Houthi rebels to relinquish its controls of Sana'a and other areas, as well as refrain from provocation or threats to neighboring states. Yet within this heightened environment of mistrust, it's unlikely that the Houthi rebels will be willing to offer any compromises unless the government reciprocates. The decision of a prisoner swap is also expected to be addressed, a move that could start the process of rebuilding confidence between the two parties. But many believe it'll be hard for the Yemenis to find their own solution while other countries are backing either side militarily. Natalie Carney for CGTN at the United Nations in Geneva, Switzerland.